It was like a dream come true. I mean, it was an absolute dream come true to see all those gals, to see how excited they were, how they wanted to meet us. I mean, at the end of each social, they would write us notes, feelings and thoughts that they had, and I had just reading all the notes of all the thoughts that the girls had, and the fact they wanted to go out, and it's just, it was just unbelievable, the feeling that I had of being wanted, of being appreciated, of so many of these gals really just want a husband and want to have a life that they can have someone that they love. And I felt that so intensely that it really was overwhelming. But then when I met my fiance, that the feeling was it was just so right. It was just so right. I knew she was the one. And in talking to her afterwards, she knew I was the one right away. And it's really been magic.
We're talking a little bit about expectations of the women when they come to this process. We've talked a lot about the 90-90-10, right? The 90% of women who are never going to meet anybody in international dating because 90% of the guys who are writing letters to them are never going to get on the plane to go and meet them. And we've talked about the 10% of guys who do go, and how half of those guys are probably ready for a relationship and have the social skills and the ability to make something impactful happen, and half of those guys might need a little bit of support in order to be successful going forward. And I think it's healthy now to talk about what the women expect when they come to this process. Another topic that we've covered is who are these women, and typically why do they come to an international marriage agency like a Foreign Affair? Well, so the women are here with their posted profiles, and you're here as a paying customer reaching out to these women. You've done some correspondence, or maybe you've just decided to get on a plane and go join us for a romance tour. When you get to wherever you're going and you meet these women, what are their expectations in this process? Guys, one of the things that I've talked about a lot is how the women are incredibly gracious to us guys who get on the plane and go halfway around the world to meet somebody without necessarily being able to speak their language. So again, we take completely for granted the fact that we're getting on a plane and going to someone's country to meet them, court them, fall in love, and find a life partner in this process without necessarily spending a whole lot of time learning the language. Now, we know how we feel about people who come to our country, and there are all kinds of polarizing issues around that, but the reality is the women are very, very forgiving of that. They absolutely are okay with us not knowing their language. We have ways to communicate, resources and such. They have clear expectations in this process, and I don't know that those are ever communicated to you guys, so let's talk a little bit about that so that you will know how to interact with these women successfully. Why do women join a foreign affair? What are their expectations? I've asked hundreds and hundreds of foreign women from all over the world that question in the past 10 years. And you know what essentially these women will say in response to that is, I want whatever I have right now plus the guy. So a lot of these women join us because they live in a place where it's difficult to either find a life partner or to find a monogamous life partner. And they'll tell us, my life here, contrary to what you may have heard from in your media, is fine. I mean, I work long hours perhaps for low pay, but I do work and I have a steady income and I have a place to live. I have access to health care when I need it or if my child needs it. My child has education, a promising education. I can pay the bills. I'm not looking over my shoulder at any creditors or anything like that. If I want to go out to dinner occasionally, I can afford to do that. If I want to go on a little bit of a vacation here and there, I can do that. Pretty much whatever I want to do most of the time within reason can be accomplished. I just don't have the guy. And 99% of the foreign women who come to our agency will tell us exactly that. So if you can add a loving, faithful, monogamous guy to that process, that would make me really happy. So when the women come here, guys, their expectations don't necessarily change as far as, what they want in their lives. They want to come here and work because they could work where they were. They want to have a bank account, a shared bank account, access to money that they will earn or two of you will share together. That's what they had there. They want to have access to health care if they need it, and certainly for well care and those kinds of programs for themselves and their children, dental care, vision care, etc. And again, they have that there, so they'll want it here. Fun things that we do. They want to do all of that just as we do, just as they do, but they want the monogamous, faithful, loving life partner in addition to that.
Interested? Learn more at... If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new.